Hello and welcome to the NFL Corner, which is a new home for the NFL on the Sports Corner channel. On today's episode, we'll be talking about Super Bowl that is coming up on the weekend. We'll be talking about the Pro Bowl that was this past weekend, some coaching changes, and some NFL honours predictions. I am joined in the studio today by my good friend, my co-host, and a much bigger NFL fan than me just now, and that is William Pete. Hello.
How are you doing, mate? All right?
I'm not too bad. Let's get into it. How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
I'm all right. So today we're going to talk about Super Bowl. Is it 54? Super Bowl 54, isn't it? I can't wait.
Yep.
But first, let's talk about let's get the logistics out of the way. The Top Corner podcast is doing a live 10-hour special. Yes, 10-hour special of Transfer Deadline Day, which are you joining us for?
I will be joining.
Oh, he's going to come in. Whoa, that's a late transfer. We didn't know he was going. I'll tell you what, we put in the deal sheet and he's over the line. Here he is. But yeah, that'll be live on the 31st of January, which is tomorrow. And obviously we've got the Every Wednesday podcast. We've now got the Wrestling Corner, also known as Ring Rust, which will be on a Tuesday. So much content coming to the channel. So subscribe if you're a fan of sports in general. Usually on a Friday we do the Sports Corner, but this week we've got Transfer Deadline Day. Just an alternative to Sky Sports, isn't it? Yeah, really. So, we're going to start today by talking about coaching changes, Will. This is the time of the season where coaches, they all get a little bit of a revolving door, really, of coaching. And so we'll talk about your team first. He's not on the screen, but we'll talk about the Dallas Cowboys. And you've signed Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it overall. I mean, there were a lot of rumours that we were going to have to go maybe after a college coach like Lincoln Riley or Urban Meyer or maybe even Matt Rule. But I think the hiring of Mike McCarthy for the Cowboys is probably the best case scenario. You know, Jerry Jones, the owner, he thinks he's got a roster that is Super Bowl ready, you know, with talent all over the field. And the best thing you could do is get a seasoned NFL head coach in that's been there, done it. You know, he's got 10 playoff wins. He's won a Super Bowl with the Packers. I think he's got over 125 career wins. So I think on the whole, it's a good hire from the Cowboys. You could say it's a safe hire. You could have maybe traded for like a Sean Payton from the Saints, but I couldn't ever see that happening. Not realistic. But Mike McCarthy, to say he was on the market, and he's been out of a job for a year, so he's probably reinvented himself.
Do you think that time away will help him with the Cowboys? Will he feel refreshed? I mean, look at the roster he's got to work with, to be fair. He's got Dak Prescott, he's got Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper, who was at the Pro Bowl this weekend again. I mean, you've got the talent. Maybe not so much on defense. I think you're a more offense-based attack. But obviously, Jason Garrett's play calling got called into question a lot last year. Yeah. And with Mike McCarthy now looking at the ins and outs, you know, the analysis of the game, do you think that it's only going to benefit the Cowboys next year?
Definitely. I mean, when you look at what he's been doing on his year off, studying more analytics, like when he got fired by the Packers, people were saying, is it gone stale for Mike McCarthy? Is that the real reason he's been fired? But in the year off, he's been with his, 4 loyal people in a team working on analytics, studying the more modern game, because the NFL is becoming more of a college game, a much more offensive game with much more spread offenses. But yeah, I think the year off definitely helped him, and it's only going to benefit the Cowboys roster, which is still pretty youngish, really, when you think about it.
And it's a talented one as well. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't have expected you to not even make the playoffs this year. I personally didn't see you not make it, especially over a banged-up Eagles team. So you've got to call the head coach into question, and now you've got Mike McCarthy. So we'll move on to my team now, the Minnesota Vikings. We got rid of our offensive coordinator. Well, we didn't get rid of him. He got hired by the Cleveland Browns. What is your opinion on this? Because obviously I have an opinion of Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a decent offensive coordinator. I think sometimes it's struggled because our defense is so much better than our offense, and I don't think our O-line helped Kirk Cousins at all. But some decent play. Sometimes we went to a trick play a bit too often. Yeah. Like towards the end of the season, it felt like why are we going to Diggs, who can clearly not throw a ball?
Kirk Cousins.
We went for the Philly special. That's it. It would have been the mini special. That's what that would have been. But no, what do you think of the Browns appointing Kevin? Because the Browns have been troubled.
That's it. I mean, when you look at the Browns, they've got talent. Like you look at the wide receivers. You've got Odell Beckham. You've got Jarvis Landry. You've got David Njoku at tight end. You've got a running back in Nick Chubb, who was up there in the ranks of the top rushing yards in the NFL. Baker Mayfield had a stellar rookie season, had a bit of regression this season, but I think that stems from the head coach Freddie Kitchens, who was in a rookie year, and he just couldn't handle the big personalities. Kevin Stefanski, I think, is the complete opposite. I mean, you look at the players he's worked with. He's worked with Dalvin Cook, who's a big name running back. He's got a big ego to work with in Stephon Diggs, who has got talent, but he can be a bit of a hassle to coach sometimes.
Yeah, you see them film on the sidelines. He's probably throwing his helmet, and not after the Minneapolis Miracle. He just throws it.
Just throws it wherever he wants. Yeah, I think it's a good hire from the Browns. It's something that Kevin Stefanski has earned. He definitely deserves to be a head coach, and I'm glad he's got his opportunity. To be fair, with a talented roster, and hopefully can grow with the players.
I was going to say, I think they wanted him I think they might have wanted him last season. Was it when Freddie Kitchens? But they kept with Freddie Kitchens for another year, and it just hasn't worked out. No. So we'll move on to another. This season, it has. To be fair, you'll see with the coaching changes, it's teams that haven't quite had a good season. The Carolina Panthers have obviously gone with Matt Rule. Matt Rule, indeed. I'm new to the NFL, so you're going to have to help me here about Matt Rule because I haven't heard much about him.
Well, Matt Rule is an experienced team builder, if you like. He joined Baylor in 2017 when they were an absolute, one of the worst teams in college football. They were 1-11 in Matt Rule's first season. Second season they went 7-6, and this third season with Matt Rule, his last season, they went 11-1. So you've seen over the time that Matt Rule has been, he knows how to build programs. He can spot talent really well because he's improved them and turned them into a pretty good college team. So I think with the Panthers, it has kind of gone a bit stale since that Super Bowl appearance when they lost to the Broncos. A ton of underwhelming seasons, and they got rid of Ron Rivera. A bit similar to the Cowboys, really. A bit of a stale head coach that needed new ideas. And I think Matt Rule, he'll bring the college game with him. He's got some good young pieces around him, to be fair, to work with. Christian McCaffrey, really good young running back. You got DJ Moore, who's had a really, really good second season with the Panthers. So I think with Matt Rule, it's a good hire. And obviously, you could say the one bad thing is he's got no NFL coaching experience, but he's gonna obviously get the experience with the Panthers.
You've got to get given the chance.
That's what I mean. You've got to start somewhere. So why not roll the dice on him? I think it could be a good hire for the Panthers, really. Do
you think, for example, that you've just said over a 3? So if it all goes belly up for the Panthers next year, they finish, I don't know, 1 win all season.
Yeah.
Do you think they need to stick it out because he's gonna manipulate his ideas?
Yeah.
Which, patience. Some people, you ain't got it all the time.
I think if you're getting rid of Matt Rule after 1 season, you're making a big mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, rookie head coaches, they're going to have a learning curve no matter what. So I wouldn't expect anything amazing from the Panthers this season. But look down the line in a few years' time when Matt Rule, he's got his hands on the team. He's had a few drafts to get the players he wants. He's looked into free agency and signed the players he wants. Like, does he really want Cam Newton as his quarterback? He's a big question going into the off season. Will he be a Carolina Panther next season? I can't see it.
Well, as a coach that's come from college, I mean, he knows the college game, so he'll know what he's looking for in the draft.
That's it.
And then we've got 2 more. We've got Ron Rivera, who's gone, you've previously mentioned, has gone to the Redskins. And Joe Judge has gone to the New York Giants alongside another person we'll mention when we talk about a few honourable mentions in the coaching department for us too. But let's talk about Ron Rivera first. The Redskins, difficult season for the Redskins this year. Not very impressive from when I've seen them. I mean, some teams that didn't do well, for example, the Bengals, you can see they're tanking, so are Dolphins. And I look at the Cardinals, who even though their record reflects differently, I think they were actually quite good towards the back end of the season.
For the players that they have.
They were quite a thorn in the side for many teams, and they were hard to beat. But what do you think Ron Rivera and the Redskins what would their ambitions be with the new head coach?
I think it's a good hire by the Redskins. I mean, the last few years, the Redskins have just kind of been a really, really poorly run organisation. I've had Jay Gruden in charge for a long time, but I think that the hiring of Ron Rivera, it will make him a respectable team. I think, maybe in like a few years' time, if they keep hold of him, there's no reason why he can't turn him into, contending for the playoffs team. I mean, you look at the Redskins at the moment. Their quarterback situation is all over the place. They drafted Dwayne Haskins last season. 15th overall, I believe it was, around that, from Ohio State. But his rookie season's been a bit of a disappointment, in and out of the lineup with Case Keenum. So, I mean, there's questions all over over the field with the Redskins, But Ron Rivera, he's another, like Mike McCarthy, he's been all over in the NFL. He's a well-experienced head coach. And I think it's a good person to bring in for the Redskins. Try and bring along Dwayne Haskins as a better QB than he was in his first year. But I think it'll be a good hire for the Redskins for what they could have got anyway.
And now Joe Judge, the final of the coaching hires that we're going to mention on today, or head coaches, should I say. He's gone to the New York Giants. Obviously, the New York Giants are coming off the retirement of Eli Manning, which I think most people expected, but it's finally nice to see him not ride off into the sunset. But it was nice, he's got 2 Super Bowl rings to his name. But there's a new head coach, and I've got a feeling there's going to be a nice little squad change with the Giants next year. What do you think?
I mean, when I first saw the news that Joe Judge was going to be hired as the head coach, it kind of struck me as a bit of a questionable one, because he's only ever been a special teams coordinator and a wide receivers coach for the Patriots. He's not got any head coaching experience. Although he's got coaching experience in the NFL, he's not been experienced as a head coach.
Or even an OC or a DC,
really.
I
say he's never called plays.
But do you think, obviously, legendary Belichick name, he's been in and around that for a good couple of years, you've got to pick up something.
Surely. I mean, when you look at the coaching tree of Bill Belichick over the last few years, it's not one that's been amazing. You got Matt Patricia he was the defensive coordinator. He went to the Lions. He's struggled since he's been there, but some people could say that's because of the Lions roster.
I was about to say, I just think the Lions are gone at the moment. Like I'd give them maybe a few more drafts and maybe low picks. They may be able to build something, but I don't see any. Whereas with the Giants, I don't think next year. I feel it's going to take them a while, because I think they took the Manning name and that did well, but they've not built much. I don't think.
Well, they've got the rookie QB in Daniel Jones, who they got. It was early in the draft, top 5 pick really, and I know they're getting a lot of laughs from picking him in the top 5, but he's done alright in his rookie season for what he's got to work with. I think he's had a pretty decent rookie season. Obviously, you've got Saquon Barkley, who's just an all-world running back. He can do everything. If you look at him, he's always highest rusher, highest receiver in the team. He's the biggest threat on the field for them. But I think I'm glad Joe Judge has got the chance to prove himself. He's held in high regard by Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick has been saying for a long time that he deserves a chance. So why not give him a chance? It's another young team with the Giants, and it's another team that they haven't been to the playoffs since 2017 season, when they got knocked out by Green Bay in the first round. Since then, it's been terrible for them. I don't think they've won over 5 games in a season. So, why not get a new coach in that's young with fresh ideas and see if he can work with these young players.
And expect a couple nice players on special teams, even though he's not in charge of it.
He'll probably turn that special teams around.
But moving on, it's not quite head coaches, but it's just nice to us. New OC, former Dallas Cowboys head coach at the New York Giants is Mr. Jason Garrett. Quick word on Jason Garrett. You loved him, I know that.
No. I mean, the clapper, as the Cowboys fans like to call him. But I think for the Giants case, this is a decent hire, because obviously when you're bringing in Joe Judge, with lack of experience, the best thing you can do is give him an OC who's been in the league for a long time and he's called plays for a long, long time, and that's what Jason Garrett has been doing. He was an OC for the Cowboys until 2013. He called plays till 2013. He actually got the head coaching job in 2010. So he's been a head coach for a long time. So I think just having that leader in the room to help push on Joe Judge. If you got a rookie OC next to Joe Judge, he might have struggled a bit, but with having Jason Garrett there as a bit of a mentor for him, it can only make Joe Judge feel a bit better. I
was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett takes over them. I know it all goes through the head coach, but I think wouldn't be surprised if Jason takes most of it. And then he comes to the Minnesota Vikings, who we've had changes on both sides of the ball. We've had Gary Kubiak come in as our new offensive coordinator. There has been rumours, to be fair, that it was always Gary Kubiak's offense because of the health issues. It was Stefanski's, but it was always Gary Kubiak.
It's a good hire, Gary Kubiak. I mean, like you say, he's won a Super Bowl. He's obviously had to leave because of health issues, but it's a good hire for the Vikings. I think it's nice to have him back as well. And then, as I've put here, it's Mini Zimmer to our defensive coordinator. It's a Mini Zimmer, which is Adam Zimmer, which is coming in as our defensive coordinator. I mean, you've got to learn something from your dad. And he built the team around his defense. That's it. Mike Zimmer's. That's where he started off. He was a DC for the Dallas Cowboys, and he's become a head coach with the Vikings, a well-respected head coach. Yeah, do you think Adam Zimmer is would come in and be decent? Learn the stuff off his dad. I
was gonna say, if it was any random guy, he's not got much experience, but being around Mike for a while, I do think it'll be another situation where it's a young guy like Judge who'll go through Garrett. I think Adam will go through. Kind of got Mike. Dad, is it all right?
Yeah.
Is it all right if I play a blitz, Dad? and he'll probably
ask for his consent before he calls a play.
Yeah. But enough about coaches. Let's move on to this past weekend, where it was all about the Pro Bowl. It's my first ever Pro Bowl because I've only just recently become an NFL fan this year. So it just seems like a lot of fun.
It does. It is. It's just a lot of fun for the players that don't make the Super Bowl, but they've had a good season and they can just, go have fun and just play a game. I mean, you see sometimes they put offensive players on defense for a bit of a joke, or they get running backs to throw passes.
I've never seen so many laterals in a game. Honestly,
that's what it's all about.
Too many trick plays.
That's what it's all about.
But I think the game finished 38-33. Drew Brees started the game at quarterback for the NFC, and he threw a touchdown to Michael Thomas. The AFC then equalised with Lamar Jackson doing a pass to Roberts. However, did you see this? He got 2 feet on the ground, he turned away, but then he was batted out his hand, but then it went to the video review and it got given.
He had possession of the ball.
Yep. Russell Wilson passed to your boy Amari Cooper, making it 14-7. Then 14-14 as Lamar Jackson passed to Mark Andrews for a 3-yard touchdown. Then 21-14 as Deshaun Watson short left to Doyle for a 13-yard touchdown, and then the field goal was scored, obviously. But then NFC took the lead through Kirk Cousins, passing it short through the middle to his division rival Devontae Adams for a touchdown. Ryan Tannehill then came into the game for the AFC, and he passed it short right to Clark for 60 yards and a touchdown. I think I could have read that right. 60, isn't it?
What's that?
It's 60 yards. I thought it was...
DJ Chark, is it?
I thought it was 40. I couldn't read. They were also missing a touchdown for the AFC on the NFL website. I've just realised that. But the NFC made it 33-38 with Kirk Cousins throwing another touchdown to Devontae Adams in this game. So what was your opinion of the Pro Bowl in general? We won't talk about MVP or Play of the Week just yet, because that's going to be a special little feature just after we talk about the game in general. What do you think?
I mean, it's the Pro Bowl, isn't it? It's just kind of like a fun game to end the season where players, they don't really try and tackle each other. They don't want to injure each other.
That is fun. That is seeing the people in the season like tackling Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
This is the game you want to play Derrick Henry in, because he can't run through you. He'll just go,
tag.
I give up. Yeah, I give up. I'll just sit here. I mean, for me, it's nice to see. What I did see from Mike Tupp this week on obviously the NFL YouTube channel is, bless him, I know I'm talking about the Vikings here, but Kirk was asking players for example, he was asking Drew Brees on advice on how to make his job better.
Yeah.
And I think when you're surrounded by better players, you will learn and you will grow. So as much as it was a fun game at the end of the season, it is a good chance for players to either stand out or some of them free agents. For example, Amari Cooper. People might have been impressed with him and they're willing to pay him a bit more to come and join them rather than the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it is just a fun game, really.
That's what it is, yeah. I mean, it's an occasion for the players, and they get to go to Orlando, do some skills challenges, meet the fans. It's all good towards.
I think it's definitely for the fans.
Definitely, definitely for the fans.
It's almost like a testimonial, but it's at the end of every year.
Yeah.
But also we've got to mention, sadly, Kobe Bryant passed away.
Yeah, it kind of overshadowed the game, really, didn't it?
Yeah, it was hard for people to. I know they want to play the game, and I know fans wanted to obviously enjoy the game, but you see, everyone's just kind of in disbelief.
That's it.
At the time, and obviously you're trying to want to enjoy the game and you want to watch the game. But in your mind, you're just going, how is this possible? How has this happened?
So you can't really focus on the game. I mean, credits to the players for focusing on the game with this in the back of their mind. I mean, it's absolutely terrible. But obviously, some of the players joined the game, giving their tributes. The NFC, when they got a sack, as Darius Smith, Jalen Smith, etc. Shooting the fade away.
Yeah,
Devontae Adams dunking on the goalpost while showing respect. So.
And the crowd as well, because obviously Kobe got put up on the big screen. Everyone was chanting Kobe. Even some of the players were chanting it as well. And it's sports people like this that in your head you just go, they're immortal.
That's it.
Like you just don't think about it. And that, I think it was the same for the players. You can see them on the sideline. Somebody's thinking it just doesn't feel real yet.
No, it just shows that anyone, no matter how high stature you are, Kobe Bryant, it can be anyone's day. It's absolutely terrible.
That was disappointing. But rest in peace to Kobe and the other 8 people on the flight as well, including his daughter.
Indeed.
But we'll move to what we were talking about earlier. We'll go to Play of the Week, which is going to be... It's going to be every single week of the season. We'll do this when the NFL season comes back around. And obviously next week when the Super Bowls happen, then it'll take a hiatus. But this week's Play of the Week, we've gone together on this one. And we've both chosen Play of the Week to the man on your screen, Fletcher Cox.
Big Fletcher Cox.
Who picks up... Well, Harrison Smith first. Gets the pick. Starts driving down the field and seems to be boxed off, so he throws a lateral to big Fletcher Cox, and he, like a freight train...
I couldn't believe it.
Down to the end. He's stiff-arming one guy on the right.
Colin Sutton, he's saying, get off me.
I don't think anyone was catching. Just cause I think once he's running, I don't think people could be bothered to try and take the big man down. And even if they did a try, it would have been nice to see him try. But
just shows how amazing the athletes these big guys are. You know, you look at them and think, oh, they're just big guys, but they're not just big guys.
No.
These guys are athletes. I mean, being a Cowboys fan, Fletcher Cox is the one player that he can cause disruption on the defensive line. He's a beast. But yeah, I mean, that was just an absolutely incredible play for someone of his size to run that quick and keep it going. It's just it's a mental play.
At the end though, an oxygen mask was needed.
Oh yeah,
it was like watching Waylon Merciless the other week. He was like, I'm so glad someone tackled me because I'm so tired. And I mean, but because these defensive players, they don't really get to do much to that side of the ball. So it's like people say, oh, why do people celebrate sacks? Because they don't get to celebrate touchdowns. So he got to finally celebrate.
That's what they work on in the offseason for, to get sacks and beat offensive line.
Get thrown a lateral by Harrison Smith.
Or score a 60-yard rush touchdown, yeah.
But along with Player of the Week, we've got MVP of the Week, which this one we actually do have varying issues. I've gone with Devontae Adams. Double touchdown on the offense for the NFC. Yes, they lost the game. But they were both thrown by Kirk Cousins and doing... And I tell you what, Devontae Adams, to be fair to him, I think he played a really good game.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he's like you say, 2 touchdowns. He got in the end zone a couple of times. He didn't have the most receiving yards on the NFC team, but
no,
he was there in the big moments in the red zone. That's what he is.
Who did he get? Was it Michael Thomas that got the most receiving yards?
No, it was Kenny Golladay from the Lions.
Oh, right, fair enough.
He was an underrated receiver, really, Kenny Golladay. So
to be fair, I think most of the NFC offense, for example, Amari Cooper when he came in, and as I say, Devontae Adams, and as I say, also Michael Thomas. One unbelievable wide receiver.
He is.
I remember Kirk, not through a Hail Mary, he was aiming for him, but he jumped over the top of the defence and just grabbed the ball over it. He's unbelievable.
He is.
Sadly, I think if we did that in the season, I just don't think Stephon Diggs got the... I think maybe he does, but you went with a defensive
I went with a defensive player, and it's from the NFC as well. They lost the game, but... I mean, when you look at Zadarius Smith, what a signing he's been for the Packers. They signed him from the Ravens this season last season in free agency. And he's been one of the reasons why the Packers got back to the NFC Championship game with, I forget, about 14.5 sacks. And in this game, he dominated again. He had 2 sacks, even had an interception.
Yeah.
Dropped back in coverage and picked it off. So he's a man of many talents, Zadarius Smith.
I'm interested now, though, because the Ravens had such a good season this year, it's all looking in hindsight. If they had Zadarius Smith, would they have had a better chance of making it to the Super Bowl rather than getting ran over by the Titans?
Possibly. But when you look at someone like Zadarius Smith, he got paid a lot of money. So the Ravens will have had spare money, which I think they spent on Earl Thomas, who was
brilliant
Pro Bowl safety, and Mark Ingram, who was a 1,000-yard rusher for them. So you can look at it that way, but would they been able to afford both Earl Thomas and Zadarius Smith? I don't know, but it seems to have worked out for both parties, really. They both got good players with the
but speaking of MVP, the guy who actually got the MVP in the game was Lamar Jackson, and I'll be honest, here at the Sports Corner, we love a segue. So let's go to the NFL Honours, which is coming up this week. The day before the Super Bowl, is it?
Yeah,
it's
the day before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, day before the Super Bowl. And the man pictured on the screen it's both our predictions for MVP of the year, because it only goes off the regular season. I think if it went off the whole season, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is putting in a hell of an audition tape if he wanted to become MVP.
Definitely agree with that.
But because it goes off the regular season, everyone was blown away by the Baltimore Ravens, including me, and most of that was down to Lamar Jackson. Why was he your MVP?
Well, when you look at the improvement from last season, I think Lamar, he came in with maybe 6 games to go, and we all know how he can run the ball. We saw that from college, but his throwing's always been in question. But this season, he proved the doubts wrong. I mean, 3,000 passing yards, 36 passing touchdowns, led the league in passing touchdowns. But not to mention, he had 1,200 rushing yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. You know, that's like putting a Pro Bowl running back and a Pro Bowl quarterback together. So the amount of yards that he gained throughout the season was absolutely incredible. Like you say, I mean, what more to say about Lamar Jackson? He's just a human highlight, really. Isn't it?
It is. I was going to say, my reason for him being MVP is a bit like Patrick Mahomes. The man can extend plays.
That's it.
I mean, another guy who I don't think could be up in the question, but another man who I want to give a special mention to for extending plays is Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
I think he's absolutely...
Especially for his O-line as well. He's got a terrible O-line. He does a lot.
Have you seen the one where he gets tackled by 2 people and just kind of spins out the back because they tackle each other? It's absolutely brilliant. But for me, we all know about how good of a runner he is, and he is. And as he says, not bad for a running back. But I do question, as much as I'm giving him MVP, because we saw the skills showdown, I don't think he's got that big arm that can make big plays.
It's definitely not his main attribute.
The thing is, I don't think he can make big plays. He is the big play.
Yeah, that's it. He makes things happen, doesn't
he? Yeah, he is, and it's one of them. Pocket awareness, he doesn't need the pocket to be there because he'll run out of it straight away. Another person, Russell Wilson's got great pocket awareness, but I think it's quite obvious. I think he's going to win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, if like you say, it's based off regular season, so he's gonna probably win it. Like you say, based off the playoffs, might have been a bit different because he, one and done against the against your Tennessee Titans. Because I know you like the Titans.
I have got a special spot in my because I did say to you, I think it must have been week 10 or something. I said
it's early in the season.
These Tennessee Titans, I think they're going to go far. Not as far as they did. Credit. I knew they were going to make the playoffs, but I thought they were going to win the division.
Yeah.
But then I thought they were going to beat the Patriots. And then I thought it was going to end against Baltimore, but they just kept going.
Going to the AFC Championship game.
Unbelievable. The Offensive Player of the Year, I went and stuck with Lamar. However, I want to make a special name for Derrick Henry, because running backs don't tend to make Offensive Player of the Year, which is a shame. It's usually the quarterback. But I just like to say Derrick Henry, King Henry, absolutely untouchable. But again, that was kind of from the playoffs, but a little bit before it as well. It was kind of the back end of the season.
He also did win the rushing title, to be fair to him. So
yeah,
he's had a good.
He got an award.
Yeah,
that's what we like. But your Offensive Player of the Year.
I was originally gonna go with Lamar, but when I thought about it, I've gone with Michael Thomas instead.
Yep.
Just because, I mean, he had over 1,700 receiving yards, led the league in receiving yards by an absolute mile. I think he had about 9 touchdowns.
Yep.
But the thing that impresses me with Michael Thomas is he broke the single-season record for receptions in a single season.
He did.
149 catches in a single season, which is just unbelievable. I think he broke it.
He broke it in the same game as Drew Brees when he broke thingy. So they've built up a hell of a partnership, and that's why I think Drew Brees will re-sign. Because I think the partnership they've got, they can't waste that on.
I think Drew either retires or he re-signs with the Saints. Well, one of those two. Because I know he has been mulling retirement according to reports, but I think he'd probably re-sign with the Saints.
Couldn't get past the Vikings. That's the problem. But no, I think it's a good shout for Offensive Player of the Year. But I do think it'll either. I think Patrick Mahomes deserves some credit because I tell you what. How from what we've got written here, how he's not going to come out with an award at the end of the season.
Well, he could have a Lombardi
Super Bowl
trophy.
Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah. So Defensive Player of the Year, I went with Stephon Gilmore, and you went with Shaquille Barrett.
Shaquille Barrett from the Buccaneers.
Oh well, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I enjoy Jameis Winston. Right, I don't want to say this because I hate football fans that like three teams. I don't support the Titans or the Buccaneers. I support the Vikings, but I enjoy watching Tampa Bay and
Tennessee.
I just want to get that out there.
Yeah.
I'm not a plastic.
No.
I've got a hoodie and everything. But yeah, so Gilmore and Barrett, we've obviously gone different, but I think Defensive Player of the Year there's a few more names in the hat.
Definitely. I mean, it could be one of many people. I've gone with Shaquille Barrett just because he led the league in sacks with 19.5. And he actually only signed a 1-year contract with the Buccaneers from the Broncos, a short 1-year contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his rise was just unexpected by everyone, really, and he's going to hit the free agency market this season. He's going to get a massive payday from somebody.
That's what happens when you have a good season after kind of being left with, we don't trust you enough to offer you more. That's the harsh reality is if you only sign someone for a year and they turn out to be unbelievable, they can be gone.
You're like an idiot, don't you? That's
it. So we're going for Offensive Rookie of the Year. You've gone for AJ Brown. I've gone for Kyler Murray. I'm just going to defend my pick because I know the Cardinals didn't have the best season, but from what I saw of Kyler Murray, he looks very, very similar to, as we've talked earlier, extending plays. He seems like he can run with the ball. He seems like he's got a good arm on him. His issue, he's slightly small.
Yeah.
For a quarterback, he's slightly small. On a good day, 5'10" is what I've heard. But I think, personally, come next season, hopefully, because the Cardinals have got quite an early pick, hopefully they can build an offense. He's a man you can build an offense around for the coming years because this is his rookie season. He got chucked in there as a starter, which is always risky, I think. But I think it's paid off.
I think it's been definitely the right pick by the Cardinals.
Yeah,
number 1 overall pick. A lot of questions. He could have gone and played baseball. He actually got drafted by the Oakland Athletics a year before, and he chose to go to the NFL draft instead, which looks like it's been a good decision for him. But I think what's helped Kyler Murray settling quickly with the Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury, the rookie head coach.
Yeah,
I know Cliff Kingsbury wanted to recruit him when he was at Texas Tech. He actually went to Oklahoma instead, but I think Cliff Kingsbury coming in, he as soon as he got the job, he wanted to take Kyler Murray first overall.
Yeah.
He's trusted him from day one, and you can tell that trust is definitely helping Kyler Murray. It's making him feel much more comfortable as the quarterback. And like you said, I think it's been a good pick for the Cardinals. And next season, I could definitely see pretty big things from Kyler Murray.
See, that's what I like, is the relationship between Kingsbury and Murray. But I think a similar thing is happening in Jacksonville with the GM over there and their relationship now with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I think they've spotted something in Gardner Minshew mania, that one can be a franchise around him, because who doesn't love a mustache? And I also think he's a talented quarterback with a bright future. And if they can keep him together, if that's your guy, if you bring in a new head coach and a new GM, they might not want the same guy as you, and he can just kind of go into the abyss and then end up at a different team that you just didn't want to happen. So explain your pick of AJ Brown, because we spoke about Kyler Murray.
I went for AJ Brown because I think he led all rookies in receiving touchdowns. He got 8 receiving touchdowns, and he was a second-round pick from Ole Miss. I mean, there were 2 good receivers from Ole Miss this season in the draft: DK Metcalf and AJ Brown.
DK Metcalf as well. Got some big plays towards the end of the season. But
AJ Brown, he was kind of being overlooked just because of how good DK Metcalf was at the combine. But second-round pick, he looks like an absolute steal for the Titans. You know, he's a big guy. You know, the thing is with AJ Brown is not only is he a very good route runner and he's quick, but he's also got the size. You know, he looks like a tight end. He's a pretty big guy. He had over 1,000 receiving yards, and he's one of the reasons why the Tennessee Titans did make the AFC Championship, which many people did not expect.
To be fair, I was going to say most people look at their offense and they give Tannehill a little bit of credit, but I think most of the credit goes to Derrick Henry, and rightly so. But also, some people get lost in that offense, and AJ Brown definitely was. But
stellar season.
Yeah, we'll move on to a man who's had, I think, more than a stellar season. And as much as I hate him for that blindside block against us, he's a very talented individual. He's Joey Bosa's brother. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I think it's without question, is Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa, I've got to agree with you there.
I think he's no longer Joey Bosa's brother. I think he's the better Bosa.
Well, when he was going out of college, everyone was saying he's definitely the better Bosa when they're both at Ohio State. And, I mean, Joey, he's a good player, but he's got his injury problems. Yeah. But, yeah, Nick Bosa, I mean, second overall pick, it was a no-brainer for the Niners to pick him. And what a season he's had. 9 sacks. I think it's second on his team. But
I was going to say, he's got the attitude as well. He seems to love his job.
He doesn't seem like a rookie, though, does he? He seems like he's been in the league a few years.
Yeah, and he seems like he loves his role. Like some people I know, if we talk about football for a minute, no one wants to be a fullback. Like, no one wants to be a right back or left back.
No one wants to be Gary Neville.
Yeah, so some people in football, you all want to be scoring touchdowns when you're a kid. You all want to be throwing that Hail Mary in the last second. He seems like he loves what he does, and he's got the mentality. The way you can beat a blocker and get past that O-line is unbelievable.
He's got the power, but he's also got the finesse moves as well.
And he's teaching other people on his team, which is mad because he's the rookie.
He's the rookie. Like, he just doesn't like the rookie, does he?
But I guess if you learn from Joey Bosa, and you're probably, as we said with Zimmer earlier, you're going to pick up some things.
Yeah, you're going to pick some up from his older brother, isn't he?
Absolutely. I think he's been brilliant. And again, apart from the blindside block, which was not a very nice move. I was nearly swore then, but not a very nice move. But anyway, Coach of the Year, we were actually unanimous on this one. Mike Vrabel, which I think, to do what he did with the Tennessee Titans team, which not coming into the season, not many people would have picked to make it as far as they did. I think credit to them for getting to the championship game. They started well, but I think the Chiefs were just too good for them on the day.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's down to Vrabel.
No. I mean, when they lost to the Chiefs, it's nothing to do with them. It's just Pat Mahomes happened, and anyone can get beat by Patrick Mahomes the way he was playing that day. But yeah, I mean, Titans, they finished the regular season 9-7, went into the playoffs as a 6th seed, so just squeezed in there. But like I say, what a job Mike Vrabel has done with his team. Ryan Tannehill was traded for a 7th round pick. He was back up to Marcus Mariota, the quarterback. Who was going to be the quarterback of the Titans was in doubt. They didn't really know if they'd have a franchise quarterback on their roster, but the way he got Ryan Tannehill to play efficient and feed the ball to Derrick Henry and get to his receivers. And the defense was really good as well. I mean, I can't speak any higher than Mike Vrabel. I mean, former player for the Patriots, so he's got that winning culture. He knows how to win. But yeah, I think definitely Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel.
Well, I was going to say, I think going into the playoffs, the question was not on the Titans' offense, because we saw towards the end of the season that can be a ruthless offense to play. It was on the defensive side of the ball. I think people were questioning personally, will they get the Patriots' offense is so much better than the Titans' defense that they'll outscore them. But I tell you what, the way you coach that, you got a bit of credit to the defensive coordinator as well.
Yeah.
But I think how he managed to get where he did with a squad of a roster of players that I don't think is worthy of an AFC Championship game.
Oh, definitely not.
A few standout players that are Henry, etc., AJ Brown, but a team that was not expected to go that far, barely would have been expected to make the playoffs and go all that way. Full credit to Mike Vrabel.
I mean, the thing is with the Titans' defense as well, it doesn't strike you as a top defense, but you've got people like Kevin Byard at safety who is always leading. He's always up there in interceptions in the league. He's a ball hawk. Logan Ryan's a shutdown corner.
Yeah.
And you've got like people like Cameron Wake on the defensive line, Jarrell Casey, who's experienced. So I mean, it's not a standout defense, but it's got ballers on the defense.
I think coming up against Patrick Mahomes was one step too far for that defense. Yeah. I think they could not wing it until that point, but once they came up against Patrick Mahomes on a day where Patrick Mahomes ran the show, politely they never stood a chance. No. And final award at the NFL Honors that we're going to talk about is Comeback Player of the Year, because we're not going to do Walter Payton Man of the Year because they're all brilliant. They all charity.
That one's just based on votes, isn't it? Really?
Fantastic. Give it to Kyle Rudolph. But Comeback Player of the Year, I've gone sentimental. I've gone with Dalvin Cook because he's hashtag my running back. You know, you've gone with Jimmy G.
Yep.
But I've also put in brackets here, I want an honourable mention for Ryan Tannehill, who came. Obviously, Mark Mariota was a starter. He came in as a starter, and he led his team. Even though he wasn't the best player, he led his team, because he's the quarterback, and it all goes through him. He led his team to the AFC Championship game. So special mention for you, Ryan Tannehill, but I couldn't get past my sentimental Dalvin Cook choice. Because he top 10 rusher in the league.
Yeah. And
coming back off injuries, keep him fit, quality running back.
Definitely. I mean, Dalvin Cook is a special running back. His movement, his awareness. Well, not his awareness, but his like
ability to spy the hole.
His elusiveness, the way he moves in and out of blockers is really, really good. Makes his own running lanes. You could say really, and he's a good receiving running back as well at the backfield, which is always a bonus.
I remember because when I started being NFL, thanks to you actually, but he was the man that stood out to me the moment I watched the game. And when I barely knew the rules, but if you can stand out to me straight away, then you're doing something right. So well done, Dalvin. You might not win it, because I do think Ryan Tannehill might, or even this guy here, Jimmy Garoppolo, who is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean,
the most handsome man in football.
Won the award.
He did, and deservedly so. He's got everything as that man. But why have you chosen him for Comeback Player of the Year? Obviously, I think injuries got a lot to do with it. But
yeah, I mean, I think it was week 2 or 3. Tore his ACL last season in a bit of a crazy running out of bounds, but his knee just jarred, and that was his season over. But he's come back this season. His team was picking 2nd overall in his draft, and he's took him to the Super Bowl. I know it's not all him. It's coaching, it's good defense, and he's got offensive weapons. But
it's Big Bosa, that's one.
Yeah, Big Bosa. But Jimmy G, he's had a really good season. I think he had 27 passing touchdowns to 13 interceptions. So maybe cut down the interceptions a bit, but he's the leader of that team. The offense runs through the quarterback. If your quarterback is no good, usually you don't really stand a chance. But Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, coming off that injuries, had a really, really good season.
I think there is always a worry, though, with Jimmy G. He's not the most consistent quarterback.
No.
He does throw the odd pick.
That's it. I mean, he's a bit of a fearless thrower, you could say. He's going to take that 50-50 chance. He's not a safe throw. He's going to try and throw it in the gap, and it might get picked off.
But I love Jameis, who went 30-30, so who am I to talk about safe quarterbacks, you know what I mean? And then, obviously, I've heard there's a big game coming up this weekend. I don't know about you, I've heard rumours. It might be Super Bowl 54.
Might be Super Bowl already.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? Because the thing is, I've only just become a fan, and now I just want to keep watching, but Minneapolis Miracle on repeat till September. You'll love to see it. But no, right, so for the Super Bowl preview, we've gone here. We're going to talk about both team strengths and weaknesses. The most fun part for me is talking about the main matchups. We'll talk about how the quarterbacks match up against each other. I think one's a little bit better than the other. We'll talk about key matchups. For example, obviously the 49ers defense up against Mahomes.
Chiefs offense, yeah.
And then obviously you've got Richard Sherman as well, who we've not even mentioned, which is bizarre. And obviously before we go, we'll get a final prediction. We're not going to do points on this because it's the end of the season, so what's the point? Because it finished 1-0.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about first both team strengths and weaknesses. And I think the interesting place to start would be because we're talking about Nick Bosa, the 49ers defense, which I think is stronger than their offense, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, the 49ers defense, it's a special defense. I mean, you look at the defensive line, though. 4 first-round picks, Solomon Thomas, Armstead, you've got DeForest Buckner and Nick Bosa. Those are 4 beasts on the defensive line. Like you say, Richard Sherman on the back end, he tore his Achilles a few years ago and got released by the Seahawks, but he's come back stronger than ever.
To haunt them as well.
Yeah, had a really, really good season. Kawan Alexander, who I know had a bit of a pectoral injury in mid-season, who they signed for big bucks from the Bucks.
Oh, I love it.
And rookie linebacker Fred Warner as well. So I think the defense, they've got stars all over.
Yeah.
All over the defense, playmakers on the defense.
And what else I like is that they've built it, and do you know what it is? Because they're quite young in their careers, because they're all obviously first-round draft picks from college, they're fearless. Yeah, they seem like a really fearless defense. Like, they aren't bothered if you're going to block. They'll beat your block and they'll get to the quarterback. But we'll then move quite nicely, because we'll go, they've beaten the blocker. Now they come up against Patrick Mahomes, which is where Kansas City thrive, in my opinion. I think Kansas City... I've run out of words to describe Patrick Mahomes, because like last game you're thinking, what's he going to do? Obviously everyone's in coverage. He ran the side of the sideline, broke 3 tackles and ends up scoring a touchdown. I was like, oh my God, Lamar's turned up in the championship game. But no, I think my personal thing is the Chiefs will be Chiefs offense v 49ers defense.
It's going to be a great game, no doubt. It's going to be an absolute spectacle. I mean, like you say, Pat Mahomes. Give him his Hall of Fame jacket already.
Wow, I know.
I mean, Pat Mahomes, he's an incredible quarterback, but also as well on the Chiefs offense, it's going to nice to see them match up against the 49ers defense, because I think the 49ers have got a weapon in George Kittle. I was about to bring that up. George Kittle v Patrick Kelce? Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, not Patrick. Travis, sorry. So Travis Kelce, George Kittle's going to be an interesting show to watch. Probably the 2 top tight ends in the league, without a doubt. Kyle Rudolph. No, but I've got to admit, like, you look at matchups all across the field, obviously. Bosa taking on Mahomes. You've got Sherman taking on... Tyreek Hill. He's had a brilliant season as well. Yeah. And then you look at the battle of the tight ends. You've got Patrick Kelce. Have I called him Patrick again? I have as well. It's Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce. It's bloody Patrick Mahomes. He's all over the field. Travis Kelce and George Kittle. George Kittle, his yards after contact is unbelievable. Yards after contact probably similar to Derrick Henry, who can carry people over to the end zone. I think that play versus the Saints earlier in the season when he just put the team on his back. Someone ended up just jumping and grabbing his face mask. Just please get down. Get him down. So finally, we'll finish it off. Prediction. I think we're going to go different predictions because it's a bit of fun in it, you know what I mean? I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers because they beat us, and if they win, it looks like we're basically second place. So, but I think I just think Bosa will get to Mahomes. I really do. And I think he's great under pressure, but he's never been in this situation before. I know neither is Jimmy G, but I think Mahomes, after the heartbreak of last year, now it's coming up in this big pressure situation, and I just think Bosa's and that defense is fearless. So I'm going to go with the 49ers. I don't know what score though, because I do think it's going to be a high scoring game. Do you know what? 30-27. I can see that. Because I just love the high scoring games. Because I do think both quarterbacks can make plays. So and I think Tyreek Hill will have a lot to say as well. So I'm going to go 30-27 to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I'm going to go opposite. And I think with the Chiefs, the offense obviously, you look at the offensive weapons of the Chiefs. Obviously, you've got Pat Mahomes. Yeah. The wide receivers, you've got Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Mecole Hardman. That is just pure speed. You've got Travis Kelce, who one of the best blocking tight ends in the league, but also one of the best receiving tight ends in the league. Yeah. But also, what I think has been overlooked is this Chiefs defense. Yeah. They've got. It's not the best defense, but they have got them certain players that are really good. You've got Chris Jones, one of the better defensive linemen in the league. Tyrann Mathieu, who's been a superb signing from the Texans. Got released by the Cardinals, signed a 1-year deal with the Texans last season. Many people thought there's no way the Texans are letting him walk. Anyway, and they did. The Chiefs pick him up and they reap the rewards because he's been brilliant for them. But yeah, I think the Chiefs, they're a more well-rounded team. I mean, the teams are a bit similar in terms of talent.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. The 49ers have got good receivers too, and they've got obviously the defense. We've mentioned that, but I'm picking the Chiefs over the 49ers just based off the fact in crunch time I'm picking Pat Mahomes over Jimmy G.
Yeah, I can understand that. But if it's a crucial 4-2 or 4-1, I trust the defense to get the stop and turn the ball. This is what I mean, because I think this is going to be...
Defense usually wins championships, that's what they say. And Damian Williams is a good running back for the Chiefs, but he's not seen anything like this 49ers defensive line.
No, and I'll tell you what, honest to God, I can't wait. I think it's going to be a brilliant game. But that is it. We are going to be back next week, obviously, with our Super Bowl review after what hopefully is going to be a brilliant... Oh, you didn't give me a score.
Score. I'm going to go...
I went high scoring, so...
I think it's going to be 28-24 to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, I love a different pick, so I can come back next week and either laugh or cry. Anyway, but that's enough for today's show. I hope you've enjoyed the first ever episode of the NFL Corner. It's been a joy, Will.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really, really good.
No, you'll be back next week, of course.
Definitely.
It's going to be us two, and hopefully every Thursday. Plug.
Every
I like
Thursday.
it. Hopefully, we'll have some people on in the future, because we have got a few NFL fans that we know. We've got an Indianapolis Colts fan. We've got a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. I'm just going to make Kieran like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I love Jameis Winston.
Jameis. He's become a Jameis fan because of
Aye. Who's going to get the dub this weekend? Definitely not Jameis. Anyway, as I say, 31st of January, it's transfer deadline day. 10-hour special. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.